Asking someone if they're thinking about suicide can save a life. It won't put the idea in their head, make things worse, or cause more distress. But how do you ask someone if they're thinking about suicide?
And if you were concerned about someone, how would you approach it or ask about suicide, or how would you advise other people to ask about suicide?
I think for me, definitely the approach has always been to ask directly, to say, are you thinking about suicide? Have you put a plan in place?
Asking questions that aren't direct, it makes it much easier to answer it in a way that's like not necessarily true, or like kind of getting to a kind of yes or no response, I think helps. It helps me feel more able to be honest.
It gives people the space to say yes or no, and that could be as much as they can share, but at least it facilitates that process, I guess, and it opens up that space for them to answer it where maybe nobody else has ever asked.
How did you kind of feel, obviously, when I came into the gym that day and asked you the question outright?
To be fair, at first, I was wondering why you would ask a question like that when I was so upset and not myself at the time. But then when you comforted me and actually gave me the time of day to explain how I was feeling, I knew you were doing the exact right thing. I needed you to step forward for me at that time and just ask.
And I think that came from recognising those signs.
Yeah.
Like, I would kind of look for if you were kind of withdrawing a wee bit and being a little bit like kind of quieter. And
If I noticed changes in the way someone was acting, the way they were behaving, is definitely a kind of a sign.
If they're isolating themselves, kind of avoiding people, social interactions, sometimes people might make jokes about not wanting to be here, and they might kind of cover that up under like a funny side or a joking side. That would make me concerned as well.
Not everybody's going to be openly upset, you know, like what you are. It can just be the small differences that you notice in someone. Maybe not coming out the house as much, or you know, even being more excitable.
Yeah, so from our experience,
Yeah.
what made you think it was okay to ask that question?
I think for me, it's people will always say, you know, there's a stigma around asking the question, and what'll happen if I ask it and I say the wrong thing. But my thing would be, what if it saves somebody's life? You know, what if you don't ask it?
Sometimes they don't answer straight away. And I think silence is okay, and giving them that space to let them think about it and process it. But then come back to them and ask again, now, how do you feel? Do you feel as if you're going to take your own life?
People won't always react the way you want them to, but it is about that follow-up, and it's about ensuring that you feel confident that you've done what you can to make sure that person feels comfortable with you.
Knowing that you're willing to ask the question, I feel more able to answer it because I know you're receptive to what I'm going to say.
I have asked people before and they've said, no, I don't, and looked at me almost as if it was a little bit of an offensive question to ask. And my answer was, I always like just to make sure, because I want you to know I'm a safe person that you can talk to.
And if they say, again, no, I say, well, be safe. I hope I haven't embarrassed you. I hope you think and know that I've done it because I care about you. It's come from the right place.
One of the things I think that, you know, a lot of people can be nervous about is, and worried, is that if I ask the question, am I going to put that idea into somebody's head?
In all the times that I've been asked, it's never taken me to a place where I think about suicide. It just doesn't happen that way. For me, there's almost a relief in being asked, because I know that someone's connected with me, someone cares about me. And for the work I've done at university and stuff, like the research shows that you can't put the thought into someone's head. That's just not how it works.
If you're worried about somebody else, How do you look after yourself after asking a big question like that?
Asking that question can bring things up for yourself. You know, if it's somebody that you love and they say, or they react and say, no, I'm not, you could think, is that then going to affect my relationship with them? You know, how do I feel if they say yes? Am I then going to go home and worry? So it's imperative that once you've asked that question, you also look after yourself and get some support and think about the good that you've done. I think we always have to remember that we're never fully responsible for anybody's mental health.
Definitely
However,
not, no.
and nothing would ever be on us, but asking the question could save a life.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?